Well, how's everybody doing today? The old naked man here. Yeah, I hope you guys are just having an awesome day. Uh, Today I want to tell you about a few embarrassing situations that I was in, and also about my experience making a nude snow angel on the side of the road on one of my trips. So, you guys, you ever been in the hospital? What do you think of those hospital grounds that they put on you? Aren't they just awesome? I don't know how they could make them any less convenient. You put them on from the front, you get your sleeves in there, and then you got to reach around behind and tie them up. Very convenient, I think. So anyway, uh, I'm in the hospital. I have a hip operation, and so after the operation, the nurse comes along and she wants me to get up and get some exercise and go for a walk. So uh, walking down the hallway, and she's holding on to my arm so I don't fall. And there's people sitting in the hallway, and so we're walking along, and I get this feeling that I'm kind of exposed at the back. So I reach up and I grab the nightgown, and I think I'm flicking up over my shoulder. Well, instead of flicking it over my shoulder, I flicked it right off. Well, then I'm totally exposed from the back end. And the nurse looked at me. She kind of grinned, and there's a woman sitting at right beside where I was walking, and she's got this big grin on her face. And I guess she must have thought it was pretty funny. So another time, I'm living in a lodge right now, and a few months ago, I'm not feeling very good. I got these terrible stomach cramps, and I can't keep anything down. My stomach is just crazy. Everything I try to eat, I just bring it right back up. Even water, I can't stomach it. So we have this home care service in here, and they give the residents their medication and stuff like that, help them with a shower. So anyway, I'm laying in bed. I didn't even bother getting up and getting dressed, and so this home care worker comes in, and she brought me something to eat, and there's just no way I didn't want anything to do with it. So she's trying to convince me that I should go to the hospital. And I said, no, I said, it's just a stomach ache. It'll get better. And so then she said, well, how be I just have the paramedics come and check you out here? And well, okay, I'll agree to that. So the paramedics show up a little bit later. And so there's two paramedics come in, this home care worker and an assistant come in. And the paramedics check me out a little bit. And, they suggest I go to the hospital, that I need some medication or need something more than what they can do here. So finally I agree, I'll go to the hospital. So I'm laying there in bed, and this home care worker, she's helping me get dressed. Well, there I am, butt naked, and she's trying to get my pants on and my shirt on and stuff. And so I got an audience of 4 other people, and I'm pretty embarrassed about this whole situation. But there's not much I could do about it. There I was. So it turns out after I got to the hospital, I ended up sitting in the hallway for hours, laying on this stretcher. And so finally, the doctor came out and checked me out, and then he sent me down to get some x-rays, and come back from the x-rays, and I hadn't been back very long, maybe 10-15 minutes, and the doctor comes in and says, well, we think you have a twisted bowel. Well, we know you have a twisted bowel, and we're going to have to operate. And I said, well, like tomorrow? He says, no, tonight, like right now. And I didn't realize how serious it was, but I guess I could have died from that. But fortunately, the operation was successful. They managed to get it untwisted and unblocked without anything major. I did have an incision right around my belly button, but other than that, I come out of it not too bad. Um, One time um, I'm out in the backyard, living in the country, and I'm out in the yard cutting the grass on this ride-on lawnmower. And where we're living is kind of a secluded area. There's hardly any traffic, never have any visitors. So I'm out there riding around in the nude on the ride-on lawnmower. So I get the backyard cut, and I come around, just going to start in the front yard. Well, just as soon as I pull around the corner of the house, this van full of Jehovah's Witnesses comes driving in, and they take one look at me, and they turn around, back up, and away they go. They never did get out of the van. Um, Now, this making this snow angel. Uh, I guess you know by now. Every time I go on a trip, I like to get at least one picture of me in the nude somewhere along the way, and I always try to do something different, so it's not always the same. Just something to remember that particular trip. So we're driving along, and I come up with this idea. Maybe you should get a picture of me making a snow angel at the side of the road. So we pull off on, off the main highway and on this side road, and we go down there a ways, and we stop, and nice quiet area, nobody around. And I get out of the van and I start looking. Well, there's lots of snow, but the bank beside the road is over 3 feet high. There's no bloody way I can climb over top of this bank and get to an area where I could even try to make a snow angel. So decide this isn't going to work, so get back in the van, away we go, and drive a little further down the highway and find another side road, pull off on that, and the same thing, another snow bank, over 3 feet high, and decide, no, this isn't going to work. So we go further down the road. It's starting to get warm. It's a beautiful sunny day. And we figured, well, if we don't find something pretty soon, it's just not going to happen. So we pull off this other side road, and then there's a road that runs parallel to the highway. But it's a little ways off the main highway. So we drive down there a little ways and find a spot that looked pretty good. So we kind of pulled the van off the road, so it was kind of blocking, the traffic coming up behind us. They wouldn't be able to see anything. And we had a pretty good view of the road in front of us. So I get my clothes off, and I go out and laying in this pile of snow on the side of the road, and I'm making this snow angel. And my friend gets her camera out, and she's going to take a picture. Well, I'm laying there, and imagine the sun beating down on the snow. It's just glaring in her eyes. She can't hardly see the anything at all on the camera. So she's doing her best to try and get a picture, and I'm laying there, and I'm just freezing my butt off, and I'm cold, and waiting for her to get done taking the picture, and it takes her so long. And so finally I decide I'm going to get up and had enough of this sitting in there freezing my butt. So before we got out of the van, I put a towel on the front seat. So I jumped back in the van and got dried off pretty quick and got dressed. But boy, I was just freezing. So we had to go quite a ways down the highway before I actually got warmed up again. But that was one of those fun pictures that it was. I really enjoyed it. I'll never do it again, but it was a good one-time experience. So, how about you guys? Did you ever do anything crazy like that? Did you ever have any embarrassing situations? Love to hear from you. So drop me a line in the comment section or send me an email. Love to hear about your stories. So, the old naked man here, going to say, take off for the hills for the day. So I hope you guys all enjoyed my story. I hope you'll join me on my next adventure. So have yourselves an awesome day, and bye for now.